We can now turn our attention to the two options that Rashi provides as to why now, after 40 years, did the issue of the Benot Tzlafchad surface and the application of the multiple options rule, the shortcomings of option 1, the shortcomings of option 2, and the choice that Rashi makes in deeming option 1 as the default option.
Option 1 proposes that in effect Moshe had received the laws of inheritance with respect to female offspring, but suffered a memory loss as a punishment for his arrogance when he told the people, V'hadavar asher yikshe mikem tikrivun elai. A Pshuta Shel Mikra problem with Rashi's thesis lies in the fact that if HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to send a message to Moshe Rabbeinu regarding his arrogance, it should have been done immediately, not 40 years later, following an incident involving the Benot Tzlafchad. Furthermore, if the expression of arrogance was of such a serious nature that it required God to respond by having Moshe suffer a memory lapse, then the delay of 40 years would be very much counterproductive, in that during this time period Moshe would have assumed that the way he had conducted himself vis-a-vis the people was quite acceptable in the eyes of God. This would be evidenced in the fact that there had been no response from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, informing him otherwise. And it is for this reason that Rashi comes up with a second option, in that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wished to highlight the zechut of the Benot Tzlafchad, who, on account of their love for Eretz Yisrael, demanded that they also be given the rights of inheritance in view of the fact that they did not have any male siblings, which responds to the shortcomings of option 1 as to why there was a 40-year delay in presenting this aspect of the laws of inheritance. It should be noted that the introduction to option 2 is the words davar acher, a phrase that implies that we are merely adding a different dimension to what had been stated previously. Accordingly, what had been stated earlier, that the distinction between option 1 and option 2 hinged upon the issue as to whether or not Moshe had been informed by HaKadosh Baruch Hu of these laws, it can now be said that according to both of the options, Moshe suffered a memory lapse regarding certain aspects of the law of inheritance. The point of disagreement hinges upon the reason for this lapse of memory. According to option 1, it came as a result of a punishment for Moshe's arrogance. In option 2, it came from a desire to acknowledge the zechuyot of the Benot Tzlafchad. The flaw with option 2 now becomes quite obvious, and that is, why should Moshe suffer the embarrassment of nit alma halacha mimenu simply because God wishes to highlight the zechut of the Benot Tzlafchad? Surely this could have been accomplished without putting Moshe Rabbeinu through the anguish of forgetting a halacha that had been given to him from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Each of the options, therefore, now has a flaw, and to this Rashi makes an executive decision according to the Pshuta Shel Mikra that the flaw in option 2 is greater than the flaw in option 1, and for this reason, option 1, that the nit alma halacha mimenu was a result of Moshe's arrogance, becomes the primary option.
And is listed first by Rashi.